I'm your host, Coach Jake. Today I wanted to talk about harnessing AI to thrive and also to cover your ass because stuff is getting crazy out there now, right? So, I wanted to talk into what's up, AC? Happy to see you. Wanted to talk about AI for a minute. First of all, I'm just curious, how many of you guys are actually already using it and how are you using it? Throw me your comments and your answers and whatnot in the chat, please. That is how we communicate. And so, what's up, John? What's up, Jimmy Hovey? Happy to see you, dude. What's up, L Chase 357? Hit me up in the chat. Are you using AI? And if you are, what are you using? How are you using it? There's so much crazy stuff out there right now that I just wanted to talk about this and address it because I was reading some of the news. AC George says that he's using it for foreign language. That's like as a translator, I'm guessing. Brilliant, right? Dan Tessie, good evening from Belgium, right? That's awesome, man. Nice to see you, brother. So, unlocking the future using AI. That's what I really want to talk about, right? So, let me go through here. Am I afraid of Blaine from the pits taking my lunch money, dude? The only thing I'm worried about is that guy taking all the booze and and maybe being at the top of my list on a death pool. Yeah. So anyway, so Act One, setting the scene. Man, I want to talk to you a little bit about this stuff. It's so crazy. Today I had a client. I'll tell you something, dude. I am helping these people. Dan Tissy, thanks, friend. How's it going? It's going good, dude. Had a killer weekend. Went up to Nebraska, which is like a 4-hour drive. My mom's 80th birthday celebration. So we went up there, and it was fantastic. Had probably 50 people there to help her celebrate. It was really great. Took my kids. Now my wife had to fly out to California for a funeral, so it's kind of big emotional family weekend. But everybody's back home and working hard. Well, I had a client today, and I love working with my business clients. I love working with my grappling clients. And today I was working with a business client, and he turned me on to this crazy tech. How many of you guys are using AI in your business? Now, we'd had a couple people say they're using it for translation, they're using it for other reasons. How many of you guys, I know like the killer app right now for a lot of people is in marketing, right? Like a lot of people are using AI to help them market their goods and services. Maybe it's writing ad copy. It's really amazing what this stuff can do. There's this new AI out there. Let me see if I can bring it up here. It's called Sybil AI. Now, this guy's like, you got to check this out. It can actually do like facial recognition, tell when somebody's actually interested in your pitch and your project. I don't make any money off of this. You got to check it out. This stuff is so crazy anymore. And it got me kind of thinking and searching for other things that are going on with AI and what that means for all of us, not just in business, but in our day-to-day life, right? I leverage AI, not just for marketing, but, because that's kind of basic. I've been leveraging it to really analyze like performance metrics for not only athletes, but also for my business clients. I also use it sometimes to help me analyze investments like trades and things that I'm doing. But what did the lesson that Spider-Man learned from Uncle Ben? You guys remember that, right? Love Spider-Man because he was he got his start in pro wrestling. Did you know that? Against Crusher, or no, what was the name of the guy? Crusher Hogan? You guys know what I'm talking about? Anyway, so I think they paid homage to it with Randy Macho Man Savage in some of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, one of those. Anyway, with great power comes great responsibility, right? We all know that phrase. Everybody's aware of the with great power comes great responsibility phrase, right? Well, man, I was on the Washington Post Actually, I was on Drudge Report looking at some stuff, and it linked me to the Washington Post. Not a big fan of the Washington Post, but this headline grabbed my attention because this AI for sales really kind of was like mind blowing. And what was the post? AI deepfakes threaten to upend global elections. No one can stop them. As more than half the global population heads to the polls in 2024, AI-powered audio, images, and videos are sowing confusion and clouding the political debate. Now, yes, that is happening. Yes, it is causing problems. But the difference is now it's been democratized. The confusion, the sowing of confusion and clouding the political debate was largely the place of the mainstream media. I hate to break it to you, right? And that's how the propaganda was disseminated. Now, you, me, anybody can start affecting things because everybody, it's been democratized, ironically, right? So it's a little crazy. What I also saw, that was the Washington Post. That's a one-sided political, like that's a left organization. On the right side, it says that not only is AI, okay, so on the left, they're worried about it causing problems with facts. My daughter, who's just turned 17, very concerned about AI. She was like, man, I hate this stuff because now I can't trust anything that I see on a screen. And I'm like, I'm glad you're aware of that. Because for the history of screens, people have not been aware of that. They thought that the news, if it was a newspaper, it was a fact. And that it's not, I'm not a left person. I'm not a right person. I'm kind of neither. I don't believe in slaves. I don't believe in masters. I believe in being a free human being. And as such, I think this is one of the interesting things that you begin to realize. Like I think Noam Chomsky, he had this documentary. If you get a chance, it's actually pretty good. I don't agree with him politically, but I do think that the manufacture of consent, which is propaganda. How are you manipulated by media in order to engineer elections in favor of those in power, right? That was the whole premise of the manufacture of consent. Now, he did it with newspaper analysis and whatnot, but now, this same concern is now being used with AI. But the thing is all of us can do it, right? These deep fakes and whatnot. The thing that's interesting to me is that Fox News put out an article that AI can predict political orientations from blank faces now, and researchers are afraid of like privacy issues. Let's get back up here. Harry Balsania. I hear Fox News not including themselves as non-mainstream media when they're the biggest news network. It's all propaganda, dude. I'm going to be real. I mean, this is propaganda, right? Like everybody's trying to convince everybody, but it's like at what scale now, and what are the rules of engagement, and is there omission and things? Now, I don't pretend to know anything beyond my own personal experience, and that might make me philosophically inclined towards what's known as solipsism. You can Google that; it's an interesting concept. But it makes me radically agnostic about everything. I'm the one who coined the phrase, and Jesse Ventura popularized it, that politics is pro wrestling. That voting is akin to betting on pro wrestling outcomes, right? So, Jimmy Hovey, the Democrats stole the 2020 election. Maybe so, dude. I argue that they've all been stolen because at some point there's some manipulation, right? What is that old phrase that Republicans campaign like libertarians and then govern like Democrats, right? So nobody's innocent. It's all a problem. And part of this has to do with the fact that voting is how power has been allowed in this country. So they manipulate the vote by manipulating the information. That's propaganda. Obama signed in, I think it was 2014, I could be wrong, but he signed, there used to be a law that it made it illegal for the U.S. government to engage in propaganda against its own citizens. Well, Obama actually changed that law. And so since 2015 or 2014, whenever that changed, who knows what's real, right? And I think this is part of the appeal of some of the fake news stuff that Trump was talking about and allowed him to garner so much of the populist vote. we are under some crazy things. Now, as I was looking at the AI, so Fox News is telling us, what's up, Marco? Happy to see you, brother. By the way, we're going to be heading up, me and Jesse Merez are going to be heading up to Canada, Windsor to Ontario, coming up very, very shortly. I think we're close to a month away. Do a 2-day up there. You definitely want to hit it. We're also be out in Hawaii, our Hawaii affiliate. And that's coming up in like 10 days or something ridiculous. We're going to be out there for 2 days. It'll be me and Wade Chalice. And they just cleaned up at Naga, the Scientific Wrestling Hawaii. Cleaned up. Gold medals, just podium pictures everywhere. I'm going to be posting that onto Instagram here pretty quick. And then this summer, we still have our 2 camps with Pat Miletich. Me and Pat, we're going to be out in Virginia at Jesse Merez's, where he teaches at Mongrel MMA in Richmond, Virginia. And then we're also going to be out at Brian Russio's Grappling Mastery Gym. Is he a 3rd or 4th degree black belt? Badass dude. Now a Greco-Roman All-American, and our Scientific Wrestling affiliate out in Orlando. We're going to be out there with Pat Miletich this July. Harry Balsania. It's funny to hear people like Sean Hannity talk about the left being provocateurs when he's constantly evoking. Dude, they're all bad. I hate to break it to you. You shouldn't watch any news whatsoever. The whole thing's bullshit. And so what I've come up with, honestly, as an alternative, nobody's quite ready for. But like I said, Fox News is talking about how they can predict somebody's voting behavior based on the AI can just look at your face and say, oh, you're left or right. And I'm interested. I want to see what it comes up with me because I'm libertarian. I'm neither left nor right. But it says it can determine your political orientation. So maybe it's not just left or right. Maybe you can get down to it. Maybe if you're a black nationalist socialist, it can figure it out. Maybe if you're a anarcho-capitalist or a syndicalist or whatever. I don't know how precise it can get, but it's fascinating. Then you have the pressure of AI democratizing the ability to manipulate and propagandize by creating, images, voices, things of that nature. The thing that really freaked me out, I saw this. This was, I think, on Yahoo News. Oh, the Telegraph. A flame. Okay, they have this video. Watch, fire-breathing robot dog that can torch anything in its path. Have you seen all those robot dogs? Right, that they do all these tricks and they get up. Somebody put a freaking flamethrower, and you can buy it for less than $10,000. You can. Okay, so here, I'm gonna read this to you. A flame-throwing robotic dog has been invented by a company in the United States that is capable of delivering on-demand fire anywhere. Called the Therminator, a remote-controlled device is for sale online, priced at $9,470. Designed by Ohio-based firm Throwflame, the robot is not advertised as a weapon, with the manufacturer suggesting possible uses including wildfire control, snow and ice removal, and general entertainment. Has the power to shoot 30-foot jets of fire and also uses its laser sight, flashlight, and light-sensitive mapping capabilities to operate at night. Footage of the canine posted on the company's website shows it scurrying and leaping across a variety of terrain from woodland to snow while shooting out streams of fire. Dude, I got to get one of these. Weighing in at 2 stone, 9 pounds, and under 1 square foot in diameter, the robot can be controlled remotely via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Similar to drones used in the battlefield in Ukraine, the first-person view robot provides a video feed which enables users to control to their phone. So my question is how long until some 13-year-old whiz kid figures out how to hook this thing up to AI, right? Like Tesla AI. Speaking of, how many of you guys are getting in on that earnings call on Tesla today? I think today's the day to short it. I'm just saying. They've been having a hard time. Anyway, dude, the AI stuff is absolutely nuts, right? Facial recognition, deep fakes, drones, influence meddling. Are we ready for this? And have you seen these robots now that they're making? I know that, speaking of Tesla, Elon Musk's got a robot. I know there's all these people making these robots. next 5 years, the world will be so completely different. And I'm curious, man, what you guys think the landscape's going to look like in 5 years. I'd love to hear it. What do you think is it going to be like? Will it be a dystopian future like 1984 or Brave New World? Will it be some utopia where we're all freed from work? What will everybody have to be on a universal basic income? Will that universal basic income be like China, where it's used to control your behavior? If you say the wrong things, they restrict your ability to buy and travel and things like that. I mean, we're kind of in that place now. How do we rebel against that? If we don't like it and we don't want to sign in, and we're all claiming to be so interested in democracy and control of our own lives, how do we opt out? Do we all got to be the next Ted Kaczynski and go live in the woods and, have crazy ideas? I mean, I'm curious about your guys' ideas here, right? It's just wild to me. What's up, Yash Gohar, Indian wrestler from India? Thank you for joining us, brother. Appreciate you guys. I'm pretty sure the only jobs that are going to be available, like, my daughter, she's 17. She is very interested in being a theater actor. And I'm like, that's a great deal, because I know that chatgpt just came out with this function where you can just, with a prompt, make a video of stuff with actors, and you can't even tell. And they can completely create voices and whatnot. So these things like MMA, wrestling, theater, live performance things, those might very well be the jobs of the future as everything else gets automated. So many people are worried, but, automation isn't a bad thing. So much of your life is automated now, you don't even think about it, and it just frees you up to do other easier work. Or in the case of maybe becoming an MMA athlete or a wrestler, harder work. But work maybe that has more purpose and meaning to us, right? Because we talk about, I think one of the arguments that the left, in particular the communists and the Marx types people, they talk about this alienation of labor. Like, you're not really invested in what you're doing. You're kind of whoring yourself out. And there's something to that. I help people, in particular entrepreneurs, with my business coaching, and so many of them want to chase their passions. They want to do what they want to do. Now, sometimes they do that and there's no market demand. So you've got to either figure out how to create the demand or tweak up what you're doing to match. Yash Gohar, I like your videos and I use your skills in fights. Oh, thanks, brother. I appreciate that, man. I love to hear that. We have such a great impact, man. We are global. We've been doing this for 20 years. We are the #1 undisputed leader. We've pretty much created anybody who even consider themselves our competition. I guarantee you there's nobody that I consider competition and that I agree with. My competition, in particular for scientific wrestling, I'm looking at high level guys, right? So anyway, I'm going to have to ban this idiot. Adding 0 good contributions. Let's see. See you later, idiot. Okay. You are blocked. So yeah, anyway, maybe there will be robots like what was that Hugh Jackman film with the giant rock'em sock'em robots that were remote controlled? I mean, maybe there will be wrestling like that. But I do think that there are certain things that will always remain human. The trick is, how do we coexist with this AI? Is it going to be like the Matrix? I don't know. How many of you guys seen the Matrix recently? It's actually pretty prophetic about what I'm talking about the deep fakes, about the manipulation of reality, about maybe living in a Matrix, maybe not exactly like the Matrix movie where you're actually plugged in and it's messing with your senses, but who knows, man? But with Elon Musk and Neuralink, who knows how far that is into the future? And will that make people more like Neo or make people more like the guy who wants the steak and to live in fantasy land? I don't know, man. It's interesting. It's an interesting time in which we live. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to make this short today. I would love to help you guys out with whatever it is that you're working on. Feel free. Tell me who you know. I just launched my new website. to explain what I do on a business side, I think, it's taken me a while to figure out the branding and position the brand the right way. But I have a ton of testimonials, a ton of content. It's called Chief Revenue Coach. Really, what I do and what I've done at the software company that I own is really chief revenue officer work, but I'm doing it in a fractional way so I can now help these other entrepreneurs blow up their money. I have a guy who I'm working with, and through his hard work and a little bit of guidance, a little bit of coaching, he's in the midst of a deal that has that is very likely to make him conservatively $30,000 a week. You understand? I'm very proud of what I do and the impact that I'm having on people, whether it's wrestling, like the gentleman in India that says that he's using our videos and techniques, or if it's this client of mine that's gearing up to do $30,000 a week off of a medical innovation that he was able to mostly just broker the deals. He didn't invent it. He just helped turn people on to new things and was able to get himself in the middle of the transactions. So hey, what's up, Stellar Steven? Theater market cities might be expensive to live in still. Jake, did you ever try to work in film industry? So this is interesting actually, Stellar Steven. I especially when I go around family and stuff, sometimes I have flashbacks and I forget things and I'm reminded of them. And, I got very ill in high school. I'd always been athletic in the martial arts, wrestling and karate and all that kind of stuff early on. It's what I did. When I got ill, that got taken from me for a while and I had to figure out something else to do. So I doubled down. I'd never been an academic. I doubled down and it helped me get my scholarship to University of Colorado, which when I entered, I was a film major. I ended up being in the same film department as Trey Parker and Matt Stone. They were 2 years ahead of me. One of the biggest mistakes I made, and I regret to this day, was that they were filming Alfred Packer, the musical, and I had an opportunity to work with them, and I turned it down because I just was a flake and a dumb kid. So it is what it is. But yeah, I started out in the film industry. And it's interesting because I did two things as an undergraduate that I thought were a waste of time that ended up playing out well. So while I was at college, I started out as a film major and I ended as with an English degree. Now, long term, I started scientific wrestling with books by publishing books, English degree. I transitioned into filming by producing instructional materials, which then eventually led to the training camps and the events, which is where I'm at now. I mostly do large-scale trainings. I was just out at WWE Superstars, Drew Gulak's gym, WrestleMania Sunday in Philadelphia, coaching pro wrestlers. I travel the world coaching competitive grapplers and MMA athletes, high-end. So that has transitioned, but that served me well, that basis in writing and in film, to answer your question. And to go back to what I was originally prefaced, the way I got into film and away from martial arts during my cancer diagnosis and my battle with Hodgkin's lymphoma as a 15, 16, 17-year-old, I actually doubled down on school, which got me into university, which is where I first had a roommate that convinced me to go to UFC 2 with him. And we did, and it changed my life. So that, because of the illness, actually, I may not have done the same things, changed my life, got me into judo, which got me into grappling early on. I was 20 years old. And what else? Well, backtracking and getting this checked off first before we continue is that, when I was ill, I had to figure something else out to do. And so beyond academics, I got into theater. So here I am, a martial arts guy, a wrestling guy. I go into theater. And what is professional wrestling but an amalgamation of wrestling, martial arts, and theater? And so it's very interesting, right, to look back at how some of these things unintentionally shaped where I am now. So anyway, it's a long story short, but I do think that possibly theater may not only be in expensive cities like New York, but for example, we're taking my daughter go see Moulin Rouge, Hades Town, bunch of stuff, all on Broadway, all ridiculously expensive. But I think it's going to spread out. So even like here in Colorado and Denver, which is not really considered a huge theater town per se, like it's not famous for that. We just went and saw a fantastic production with Broadway actors of Noises Off, a good theater production here at the Arvada. It's like even a suburb. It's not even Denver, like the big performing arts center where like, the Book of Mormon or Hamilton plays. This Arvada Center for the Performing Arts put on a great thing. So I think it's going to get bigger as people have more time freed up. Harry Balsana says, maybe humanity is at the stepping stones to electric AI future beings. Well, I mean, dude, we're on the precipice of a lot of crazy stuff because, a lot of this AI is getting to the point where it can really pass the Turing test, which is where you can't really tell if it's AI or human, beyond a certain point. Crazy times that we live in, right? Crazy, crazy times we live in. So, I just really appreciate you guys. If I can help you, if you have anything that I can help with regards to fitness, with regards to the sport of grappling, in particular, catch as catch can, and with business growth, I'm your guy. I'm here for you. If you know somebody that I can help, just connect them with me. I'll sit down. I'll talk with anybody if they're sincere and I can help you. So I appreciate the heck out of you guys. I'm going to jump. I actually have a client call here in about 20 minutes that I wanted to prep for. Again, reach